Hey, this is Russell Brunson. I'm here with Garrett and Scott. How you guys doing?
We're great.
So we're here to answer some of the top questions we've been getting from people. The biggest question we keep getting from everybody is, how much money is it going to cost to build my first software program? And obviously the answer to that is it depends, but I don't want anyone stressing out. My very first software program I ever created was called ZipRander, and it cost me $20 to get Cyprian in Romania to build ZipRander, and I felt so guilty I gave him a $100 bonus. So it cost me $120 for my very first software product. And so that's kind of the big question. And so I asked these guys that, because like, what's it going to cost for people to get involved in software secrets? Like, should they be budgeting $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million? I mean, depends, obviously. If you're building Facebook, you probably have to budget a lot. But for most people, like, what's the budget going to look like? And so first off, get their opinion. And then second off, they actually went behind the scenes and created a software product just to show you guys what's actually possible. So first off, what do you guys think people should be looking at? Like, how much should I be budgeting to build my first product?
Yeah, it's a question that we can't answer necessarily because, like you said, it depends on what you're building. If you're building Facebook, it's going to cost you. Yeah, exactly. It depends on the size, the type of software that you're building. So to answer the question is really hard. But what we wanted to do is, because we get this question all the time, right, Scott? Like,
right.
How much is it going to cost me? How long is it going to take? Like, we set out to build a software product for under $2,000, and we were thinking, okay, so how are we going to do this? And so we basically went through the process of what we teach in Software Secrets. And we followed it exactly, and we did it. $1,900, $1,911.51.
That's awesome. You were right below.
1,000.
Okay, so walk us through all the different things that you guys had to actually invest to get this app done. And I want to actually see the product after that.
Okay, so domain name. We wanted a domain name because that's generally where we start because we're going to design a logo around that. The logo helps us design color scheme and all of that. So domain name was $12.17 from GoDaddy. The logo cost us $21. We got that on Fiverr. The meditation, some of these won't make sense until we show the app, but the meditation voiceover, $73.50. The countdown voiceover is free. So some of these things you can do yourself. Right? Exercise
that was
videos.
Somebody that we knew. So, you got to be a little scrappy, right?
Yeah.
And a little resourceful. So.
Yeah. Exercise videos, $69. Video editor, $225. UI designer, $180. Our in-house designer did some small tweaks, another $90 of his time. Front-end developer, where they take the design and then slice it all up and make it so that the programmer can deal with it after that, $120. And then the actual app developer, the app development, $1,120, a total of $1,911.51.
That's awesome. So under $2,000, you have your very first product done. And tell us about the product. Actually, should we just look at it?
Yeah, let's just look at it. So Scott can give us a little background on why we decided to build this specific app.
Yeah, well, and ideas come in all different kinds of ways, right? I was online looking at a news feed and I saw an ad or an article that talked about how this new exercise routine you could do for 10 minutes 3 times a week. They did this big, huge study where they had these people do these 10-minute exercises versus 45 minutes. And they got the same results at the end. And I'm like, Garrett, we need to build some software.
Which happens daily, right?
Usually Garrett says no, but this time.
Yeah, okay, we need to build some software that breaks down this 10-minute workout into very specific timing segments so people can do it really, really easy on their phone. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, we're not going to do that.
And then you're like, wait a minute, we can show us a case study to prove to the world that building software is not crazy expensive.
Exactly.
And so that's how it started. And then from there I did a little bit more research. I'm like, what else could we do that's revolutionary in 10 minutes, that could change people's life in 10 minutes? And I started looking at meditation. And we're like, in 10 minutes, meditation can solve a ton of problems too. And then we started looking into food. Yeah. We're like, what could we do as far as recipes goes that
like
people can build in 10 minutes, right?
Exactly.
And so this one idea grew into this. It could be huge ultimately, right? But we wanted to prove the concept, and so we created our MVP, our minimum viable product.
Which is what this became, and that's why a lot of people they screw up because, and we do it too, they start going down this rabbit hole of idea after idea. We could add that, we could add that, we could add that. Well, no, you need to start with that minimum viable product. And so that's what we did, and that's how we were able to do it for under $2,000. And so we called it the 10-Minute Revolution. So that's the name of the app. It's an iPhone app. That's what we built. So you can see here, you've got the 10-Minute Revolution. That logo design was part of the $21 logo that we turned into just what Apple needed for the icon. So you come in here, now it just says choose one. I mean, this is simple. It doesn't need to be difficult. The more difficult you make it, the more expensive and the more time it's going to cost. So we had to just scrap it down to the most basic thing, and it turned out gorgeous. Yeah, awesome. So you got choose one, workout or the meditation. So let's say you do the workout. So now you choose today's 10-Minute Revolution workout. So you've got elliptical, biking, jump roping, running, rowing. Those were the 5 main ones. We could have added more, but those are 5 main ones that people do. So let's say we go to elliptical. So now we found these videos that we paid for. That was the exercise videos that were $69 that we got the rights to use. So it's just a basic video showing them what they should be doing. Then they push the play button.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Revolution workout.
There you go.
Your 2-minute low-intensity warm-up begins in 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get ready.
Go.
So this is the warm-up. You can see it's counting down. You can pause it.
It tells them exactly what to do all the 10 minutes, right? But it's very simple, but it's cool because it helps them to organize that workout, right? Get everything they can out of that 10 minutes.
So you can see it's simple. It's very, very simple. So go back, then we could go back again now if they want to do the meditation after they just worked out. So they click meditation. We've got the guided meditation and the music only. So they can push play or pause, and you can hear the music maybe.
In the next few minutes, we will be focusing on nothing but the present.
Yeah. So now you've got 10 minutes. So we hired that meditation voiceover on Fiverr for $73.50. It probably would have been a little cheaper, but she added the music in for us. Oh, that's cool. And so it costed a little bit more. And that's basically the app. Now people can download that. You can do a ton of different things. We can give it away for free. We could charge for it. And what we're going to do is add some content to it where they pay for the content and get the app for free. They feel like they're getting a ton of value, and they're getting a free bonus for it. So $1,900. The app was developed in 3 weeks, which is insane. And so, but what we had to do and what we teach in Software Secrets is you've got to doodle it, you've got to wireframe it out, and that's what we did. And Scott and I had many arguments back and forth, and that's what needs to happen, right? We had many arguments back and forth of what we were going to add and what we were going to take away, because that's what's really important. Right. Because the people that spend a lot of money and a lot of time are the ones that miss that step and start cutting. Some of the best books that were ever written were the ones that they edited it down from 50,000 words to 225,000 words, right? And so that's what you have to do. And that's what's going to make it so that you can do it fast and on the cheap.
I think what people understand is that, and I was the same way with ClickFunnels and Todd, and it's kind of funny going back and forth, but the key is the minimum viable product. You create that and you get it out there, and then the goal is like, can I make my investment back on the minimum viable product? Right. If you can't, then it's like, then you should stop and not invest in anything else in this, right? But if it does, then it's like, hey, we made our $2,000 back, now we know we have a functioning thing, and now it's like reinvesting a percentage of profits to start adding in all those other things.
And then you can charge more and start making more.
Exactly. But I think people get so nervous, they don't want to do it till it's perfect. So like software, there's this really cool thing put out there called beta. And you tell people like, this is the beta program. So because of that, you get a discount price, you can try it cheaper, and we'll be adding new things, we're gonna get your feedback in, and you sell that as a big benefit, and then people come in for the beta, and then they see it, and then that's how the whole thing begins. And if you can't get people on your beta with the MVP, then that's a good way to test, like, okay, this isn't gonna work, before you go and invest 6 months or a year or all this money, all those kind of things, is to test it out a lot quicker. And so,
and people expect software to not work when it's in beta, or even after. Like, look at Twitter, for example, how many times did the fail whale come up for everybody that remembers that? Like, Twitter was failing all the time. Facebook, when it goes down, people go crazy, right? Because there's billions of people, but people expect things It doesn't have to be perfect.
Microsoft still is full of bugs, and it's been around for forever.
So get that minimum viable product. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it can cost for less than $2,000 or $120 software that you built years ago.
Most of my initial software, I was telling you this before we started filming, probably my first 10 software products all cost about $100 to create. And I remember because what I was doing, I know you guys have done something similar, but I would see a tool that I wanted. I was like, oh, it's like $300 to buy this thing. I was like, or I can spend, $300 to hire someone to build the same thing, and then now I have it for myself, and then I can sell it and make a profit. And that's how I started my whole software business. Was like, I don't want to buy that. I'll pay that same money to a programmer. He would develop it, and then we have it, and then we could go and it shifted from being a liability to an asset now. And that's how I started doing stuff. And so my first 10 plus programs are all around $100 to $300 or so to create. And then I went out and started selling them, and that's how we made money back on them and then made profit from them.
We've had students of Software Secrets that have a software product now that they didn't build. Now that somebody else built. Now that might sound weird, but they went out, they had a following, or like a lot of these people that are watching this, they have a following. They found a software out there that is like, oh, I could sell that to my clients. They contacted the software company and said, can I white label this? Which just means, can I brand it to myself? He went and did this, and he didn't have to spend any time, any money developing it. He white labeled it. They just get a little bit of a fee whenever he sells one, and now he can go sell it to his whole following, and he didn't even have to build the software. So that's another way to go about it.
It's awesome. So many cool ways to do this. So we wanted to share this with you guys because, again, the question keeps coming up, how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost? And the reality is you're building something that is an asset. I know in the real estate world, I have all these friends who will go spend $300,000 on a house. They're hoping and praying will cash flow $200 a month. It's man, you could spend $2,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 on a software product that's going to cash flow you thousands and thousands of dollars a month. Yeah. And it's just shifting that mindset. It's this is an investment you're putting in. And the best thing about this is when this is done, you don't have to fix toilets, you don't have to, all the other stuff that comes from that, right? You build the software, and then you can keep building on it. Or I know I have a mutual friend of ours who built a software program 8 years ago, and he launched it, and it's still to this day does over $1 million a year. And I asked him how many programmers do you have keeping it up and maintaining it? And he was like, none. He's like, we coded it, and then I fired the programmers, and it just runs. I don't do anything else. And I was like, for me it's weird because we always have people always improving and making it better, but a lot of times you develop this thing, you build it, and then it's done, and then you just sell it. And from that point forward, everything that comes in is just cash flow. We were talking about this earlier, if I was to ever sell ClickFunnels, what would be the next thing I would do? And the only thing I would do is software. So go and start your software empire, you guys. Now is the time. You're in good hands with Scott and Garrett. These guys know more about software than anybody in the world, and the process they've built, the tool they've created with Software Secrets makes this so simple and so easy that anybody can do it. They even connected you with their developers and their programmers. So you don't have to even, most people get stuck I don't know who to hire or who to talk to. They give you their people. You can just talk to the same people who built all of their products can build yours as well. So I don't know how else we could over deliver. Literally, if you have an idea, plug it in. If you don't have an idea yet, log into the training. I was watching some of the earlier trainings. They give you so many ideas. If you don't even have an idea, you don't even need one right now. Just go in the system, and by the time you're done, you'll have an idea. You have the people to actually build it. You have the resources, the tool, everything you need to launch your software empire. So just do it. This is your literal push off the edge. Just go sign up and get started. You're in good hands, and you are going to love this journey. I promise you that. Thanks, you guys. Thank you.